But everything
No,
good?
I think everything looks great. Yeah, you're all in frame, so that'll
Perfect.
work.
Thank you.
Welcome everybody back to another round of the Barn session. I'm here with two-time All-American 2025 NCAA finalist Joey Blaze. I'm excited to have you here, man. I think you have a very interesting sort of perspective and stance within the sport, and so I'm excited to kind of dig into some details and kind of get to know more about you. So, yeah. First of all, how are you doing? How are things been?
Oh, it's been good, man. So like just the whole season and everything was good, for the most part. I my like something I never really like publicized or anything was I was like struggling with a lot of injuries.
Hmm.
So just, getting through all that this year, it was kind of a relief for the season to be over. I was ready to take a couple weeks off, but then Raf
Yeah.
called me, so I was like, dang, I can't miss this opportunity to wrestle someone like Nolf. Uh,
Yeah.
'Cause, he's a gangster. So I had to go out
Hmm.
there, or just like going out there and taking that match was good too. But no, yeah, life's been good. Just taking time off, trying to just get better at wrestling and not worry about competing as much. I think I went on a very long cycle of competing
Hmm.
without really taking any time off. And just with how I am as a human, like I need times where I don't necessarily have a next tournament and I'm just training just to have fun and get better.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So it's been over a month now since NCAAs. Um, what like you've had time to reflect on it? What is your perspective? Like, what are your thoughts after having finished sixth at NCAAs this year, being the two seed, dropping that match in the semis to Caliendo? Where are things for you from that?
Oh, I mean, you're just disappointed in yourself a little bit. I mean, if you're gonna be honest, like, I mean, I'm just disappointed that didn't happen. But like at the same time, it's just another day wrestling, and I feel like I say it all the time in my interviews. If after big wins or something, when people ask me how I feel, it's like, it's just wrestling. Like it just didn't go my way that day. So it's not the end of the world. It's disappointing, but it's not the end of the world. And I'm living a good life right now. So it's not a big deal. Uh, but no, it was good. I thought was wrestling pretty well through the first couple rounds. And then, I think I started the first 4.5, 5 minutes against Caliendo. Pretty just not I wouldn't necessarily say like controlling the match because he's a really good opponent, but I would say that I was in the driver's seat of the match. And then the third period hit, and I don't know. I remember after I lost, I was like called my coach, my high school coach, Scotty, and I was just like, man, I don't know what happened. Like, yeah, that's the one time in my life where I honestly don't really know what happened there. The brakes just
Hmm.
fell off, and he made great adjustments because he's super good. So we had that, and then yeah, the next match I think I lost off of like riding time or something, which just is what it is. And then
Hmm.
yeah, I was done. After I kind of lost that semi, I was so hurt like physically that I was just kind of once I lost that next one, I was like, all right, I'm done. Like I'm not wrestling for fifth and sixth. I'm just so beat up.
Yeah, I mean that's we see it plenty, especially for guys who have been like, just fighting to be on the mat, fighting through those injuries. That you lose in the semis, you get that heartbreak. It's hard to wrestle through that backside. But
Yeah,
I mean, you still go out there and you wrestle that first match and you give it that shot, and even still, it's just like okay, you know, what's worth it at this point.
yeah, no, for
Um,
sure.
but looking at your season overall, like flawless regular season, 18-0, you don't give up any takedowns. Do you feel like that had sort of an impact on how things went postseason? Did you feel more confident, or did you maybe feel like there was like more of a target on your back? Like, where did you kind of sit with that? Were you like, okay, I have a lot of momentum, or where were things at for you with that?
Yeah, I think I was in a good place just throughout everything, but I think there gets like that level of like comfortability, like I've never been, I mean, I was undefeated in high school, but like in college wise, I'm used to always having a loss that makes you reset yourself and like kind of like rethink how you're going at things. And
Hmm.
I think I didn't have any last year in the season, so that was awesome, in a way of like not losing. I mean, that's pretty hard to do. Like it's
Yeah.
not every day that there's a bunch of undefeated people. So being a part of that was pretty cool. And I think I just kept it the same kind of thought as like it's just wrestling at the end of the day. But I would say I definitely felt a little bit more like added pressure just on myself. But I always have that kind of pressure because I always want to win. You know what I mean? Like I feel like
Yeah.
nothing out of the ordinary. And I think sometimes though you think about it and you're like, you see, I don't know, like sometimes you think you get to a certain point where people may just give you the match, not give it to you, but like they don't think they're gonna win when it starts.
Hmm.
And I think that that's like the horrible mindset to have in anything. So
Yeah.
I think like even like opening my mind to thinking that kind of set me back a little bit. But I mean, at the end of the day, it didn't. I think I still wrestled pretty hard and tried to score points. But
Hmm.
I think I did definitely thought about losing more in the back half of the season than I did the whole season, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was, it's not like you're wrestling these tight matches throughout the regular season. And then you take that loss at Big Tens, and it didn't really feel like you got beat in that match. It was like kind of like maybe you were asleep at the wheel, or like, you get hit in a move where who's expecting somebody to hit like a twister while they're on top of you in a front headlock.
Mhm.
But then that kind of like gives you that readjustment right before NCAAs, that big grueling 3-day stretch. And so you're like, okay, I don't have to worry about like flawless this or flawless that. I can just be Joey Blaze and I can go out there and wrestle and do what I do. So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. But then, so we've got a contrast to that, right? Where we take a look at last season, 2025 NCAAs. You're down at 157. You're the 8 seed, and you go out there in the quarters and you knock off the number 1 seed, Tyler Kasek. You ultimately finish as the national runner-up, which again, it's a great accomplishment, right? Just like sixth place this year. Maybe it's not what you wanted, but it's still like a lot of guys
It's
would
awesome.
kill
Yeah, no,
for.
it's a blessing.
Yes,
It's a true blessing
exactly.
to be at that.
So moving up from 157 to 165, what was that adjustment like? And then also having the adjustment of, you had some losses last year. You were in as the 8th seed, and so you were a little bit of an underdog. So you go from underdog to target on your back from 157 to 165. What was that adjustment like? Did you feel bigger, better, stronger, faster? Like, what was that like?
Yeah, no, it was cool. I think like 57 for me was I was pretty big for 57. I was like the same size I am now, or like maybe
Hmm.
like a little bit smaller. Uh, so now I wrestle 65, and it's like I don't really cut much weight. Like if I'm eating healthy and working out 4 or 5 times a week, I'm probably at 173, 174. So I
Yeah.
think the goal lately has just been to just put a little bit more muscle on and reinforce my whole body and just get stronger. But no, I thought it was awesome. I like 57 was fun to wrestle with because I feel like the matches guys would not like shoot a little bit more, but I think the matches would be a little bit more higher pace. There's more scrambling a little bit. But I don't like see a major difference between 65 other than size.
Yeah.
But I think it was cool. It's a cool, interesting challenge to, when you're going up a weight, you just have to learn how to, handle the new levels of strength you may be opened up to. But there's
Hmm.
also a bunch of super crazy strong guys at 157. Uh, so I think it was cool. It was a good adjustment, cool adjustment, and no, it was super fun. I enjoyed every second of last season, even though making weight sucked. And I enjoyed every second of this season, even though, and it made it even easier to enjoy wrestling this year because I was just one practice away from
Right.
making weight at any time.
Yeah. So the cut wasn't too hard.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I got high schoolers that I'm coaching, and they had Alabama States this last weekend, and they're like, Coach, I'm going to cut 10 pounds to wrestle 126, and I'm like, just wrestle 132 or 138. Just
Yeah,
go out there and have fun. Like, that is. I think cutting weight is overvalued, and I think just being able to go out there and wrestle and have fun is undervalued. So,
yeah, no,
um,
I
I'm,
agree with that.
yeah, I'm glad 165 like was the opportunity for you to be able to experience that, right? Because you and Stony flip flopped, right?
Hmm.
And I think that was really good for the team because it felt like Stony was having a good time at 157 as well. So, um, okay, moving on to something that you kind of already brought up. You've been going through this stint, this long wrestling stint, and part of it was national runner-up finish last year, and then a full freestyle circuit. I mean, you went and you got gold at the Poland Open. You were fourth on the U.S. ladder at 74 kilograms. You represented USA at the PWL event. What was that experience like? And is the intention this summer, like, you're not going to be able to wrestle world team trials or wrestle for a senior world spot? Like, are you just taking this summer off to let the body heal up and get ready for this next season? Where are you at with all of that?
Yeah, yeah, I think so for this summer, the plan honestly just is I'm gonna try to do all the RAF events I can. And since like you said, like there is no opportunity for that senior world team, uh I just kind of decided that yeah, I think it's good for me to just sit back, train. I think also there's like a premium of like you can get better when you're just focusing on training, in my opinion, because you're trying new things. You're not so worried about the aspect of like I have a competition coming up, so everything I do needs to be crisp. It's more of the
Mm-hmm.
way of like, okay, I have this move set, and now I can just kind of file in and just kind of build onto my wrestling. So no, yeah, I'm just taking the summer just for whatever, for granted, whatever it is. I'm just gonna keep, maybe if it's a camp on a weekend, if someone wants me to do that, I'll do that. If someone wants me to
Mm-hmm.
wrestle a match, I'll wrestle a match. Just kind of keeping it up in the air because for me, it's like I love to just wrestle and just
Yeah.
like compete. So I mean, like it doesn't really matter to me. If someone gives me an opportunity, I'll do it. And I've also just been like I've been getting into like jujitsu and stuff lately, the past
Mm-hmm.
couple years. So I mean, if someone offers me a match for something like that, like you may see me doing that this summer. I think I'll just kind of be doing whatever, just trying to train and just learn and get better. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and then yeah, that whole circuit last summer was pretty cool. It was fun because it was an awesome opportunity after awesome opportunity after awesome opportunity. Like what I mean? Like it felt
Yeah.
like everything was just falling into it was just opportunities that I was just because I showed up and I just tried super hard.
Mm.
They like, fell on me. Cause like the PWL match was like we were at the OTC camp, uh, just like a national team camp.
Yeah.
And the last day they came up to me and were like, "Hey, do you want to wrestle?" It was like I think it was like 170 something. So like I didn't even have to lose
Mm-hmm.
any weight.
Yeah.
And I was like that in Hungary, and I was like, and they're like, "It's in a week." I was like,
Yeah.
"Sure, I'll do that." And then I already like when I made the national team, I kind of like, or not national team, but like made that like stretch of like final X in the world team trials.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they like asked me if I wanted to do that Poland tournament, so I just was already penciled in for that. So it was cool. I did 2 weeks. I did 5 days in Hungary, came back to America for like 5 days, and then did 5 days in Poland. Uh, so it was like I went one week, came back for a week, went another week, and that was super cool.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really like traveled that much
Yeah.
and like seen the outside of the United States. So it was
Mm-hmm.
super cool to go and just see different cultures and then also wrestle foreigners because I really love freestyle. Like it eats me to not wrestle this summer because of how much I love freestyle. So it was cool
Yeah.
to finally get like more of a European feel, Russian feel. Like just have those matches was just super cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What between the countries that you visited last summer, what was your favorite?
I really like Poland. My
Yeah.
family's Polish, so it was
Okay.
like cool to go see all the World War II things and everything like that.
Okay.
Uh, and it was just a cool tournament overall.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So you like freestyle, and you wrestled at Real American Freestyle against Jason Nolf, as you mentioned. What does what does wrestling look like? What does the sport of wrestling look like for Joey Blaze post college? Are you going to be going for 2028? Is 2032 something you're interested in? Are you going to keep wrestling with RIF? Post college, what does that all look like?
Yeah, no, I really hope RAF asked me to come back and keep wrestling matches because
Absolutely.
I also like funny I took that Nolf match also on short notice on like a week
Hmm.
notice. So
Hmm.
like I hopefully they invite me back and I can get another match and that'd be fun. And then other than that, yeah, I'm looking for through the 2028 Olympics. I want to wrestle through that, and then once that's over, I think I'm gonna start fighting. That's like been it's just a huge interest of mine. I like the second I got introduced to like jujitsu and all that stuff,
Hmm.
uh, I got like it's weird. Like I almost got more fascinated with that stuff than I did wrestling. Like because it was new, it was fresh.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
having all that come in, like I became like obsessed with that. So now I have like now I'm just like the mixed martial arts. Like I'm obsessed with all mixed martial arts. So it's like I think it'd be super cool to go into fighting and jujitsu and just everything. Just try to compete as much as I can in all those things.
Yeah. Has wrestling been the only mixed martial art you've done pretty much your whole life, like before getting into some jujitsu recently?
Yeah, yeah. I did. Yeah, I started doing jujitsu when I was like 16 or 17.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you've got some time under your belt on that one. Um, Talk to me about Real American Freestyle because I haven't been to any of the events, but I've been to
Mhm.
NCAAs plenty of times, and it feels like just from watching from home that it's like one of the biggest stages and like one of the most electric environments you can have for a wrestling related event. So, what was that experience like?
Oh, that was awesome. It was super cool because it was like it was that MMA level of like professionalism that like
Yeah.
you had to kind of show. Like you came 3 days early, did the your interviews and your pictures and you signed stuff and you had the meet and greet. Like it was so like perfectly professionally ran that it
Hmm.
was super cool for someone like me who's like I'm young. I've never like I'm used to I wouldn't say like it's formal wrestling tournament schedules and everything, but I'm not used to it being like a production almost. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
like having that was awesome, and I agree with you. I think it was like it's kind of like simulates like a similar NCAA final like type of feel because it's a cool atmosphere that they've brought in. They've really like brought out and marketed for the kids with
Hmm.
like how they do the meet and greets and everything with the wrestlers, which was super cool because it was like you get to like actually interact with the young kids that were like me when I was like them 5 years ago, some of them,
Right.
or 4 years ago even before I got into
Hmm.
college. So it was like cool to interact with those people, and then they get all those MMA fans in with like the having the UFC fighters and having the real American beer and having all that. So seeing how they've brought like multiple communities together to like support wrestling is super cool in my opinion.
Yeah, so I've been like kind of up and down about it. Sometimes I don't love the matchups that they make, but then I start to understand the appeal of like, okay, maybe this matchup is because you're pulling in this certain fan base, and I do think that that is wholly good for the sport and will get more eyes on the sport, which is something that we need desperately. Um, what for you? What would be a matchup that you would want at Real American Freestyle? What would your call out be?
Ooh, dude, I want to wrestle one of the UFC fighters, but I know that like they probably just wouldn't want to do that just because it's like I'm training full like that's all I've done and
Right.
they don't wrestle. But
Yeah.
I think like wrestling like David Carr or just any of those like any guys, honestly, it's
Yeah.
for me like I said, like it's funny, but like I don't care who it is. I just want to wrestle at the end of the day. So it'd be whoever they give me. I'll wrestle gladly.
Yeah. It is interesting. Like just hearing you talk, it sounds like there's intention behind the things that you do, but you also are able to kind of see the bigger picture of like, yes, it is just a sport. Like sometimes I got to remind myself this is wrestling, but that's all it is, right? It's not life and death. But like what, especially when we're looking at what is, I think, going to be your last season of college. I don't know what this 5 for 5 ruling. If maybe
Mhm.
since you don't have a red shirt yet that you get another year. I don't know. But let's not think about that yet. If this next year is your final season, how do you if we were to jump forward a year and Joey Blaze is a national champion, right? And you visualize things that way. Does that kind of help you stay motivated to, even though we're 300 however many days out from NCAAs next year, do you stay motivated that way, or is it just another thing for you? Where does that all kind of sit in your mind?
Yeah, I think it's a mix. And for someone like me, because I'm someone that I feel like I can motivate myself pretty easily, but then I also just enjoy what I do a lot. So it's
Okay.
like that. It's that mix of like the days I don't want to go to practice, I know I'm thinking about that. You know what I mean? Or I'm thinking about
Hmm.
how I got beat in the national semis, or how I got beat on like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm always constantly recycling some motivation for the days that I don't want to go, or like be there, or when I'm sore or something. But
Yeah.
I think for the most part, I just really hope I'm, just a good leader and a good example for my teammates. Because I think something that Purdue has is like, we're the coaches here, and just everybody in the program is awesome. And I just hope that I'm able to set a good example for the next generation or next set of kids that come through the program. So I just hope next year, win or lose, honestly, when I look back on it, I just hope that I was a good example and just a good human to my teammates. Honestly, like I think the wrestling will do itself. I'll win. I'll win if I can do that stuff, in my opinion.
Yeah. 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 Right. Because it's maybe it's better to be that good example and that good person, and come up to fourth place rather than you're bad for the culture, bad for your your coaches are losing hair, stressing out over what's Joey Blaze doing this weekend. Is he going to be ready to wrestle? Um, I totally agree with that. Now I want to talk about Purdue because being a Hoosier myself, there's like we're kind of in that same tier of Big Ten schools, right? The Big Ten conference for wrestling it's grueling, and Indiana and Purdue, they're teams that are wholly not bad, like in the overall perspective. But when you compare them to some of the top tier Big Ten schools, they start to get kind of like pulled down. So what for you going to Purdue, a program that's on a pretty decent stretch right now. With they've got I think 5 podium finishes in the last 4 years, two between you and Matt Ramos each, and Parker Filius. What does it mean for you to represent Purdue? Because obviously you care a lot. You want to be a good example. But like when you personally you're representing the Boilermakers, what does that mean?
I think it just means it's someone that gave me an opportunity. I think like for my biggest thing was coming out of high school, I maybe wasn't before, like I committed pretty early, I would say. But that was like kind of by my own design and my own plan. Because I wanted someone that wanted me before, because I knew it's weird. So like my junior year and everything, when I committed right before my junior year started.
Mm-hmm.
And that was before I had placed at any like major like national high school tournament, and had just won like state, and just won like kind of like just the local stuff in state stuff.
Yeah.
Uh and they were one of the first teams that reached out, and Ersland just kind of gave it to me straight right away and was like, "Hey, we want you at this weight. We want you to be a part, and we think you could be a part of the program that people look at and are excited about for our program." And
Mm-hmm.
it kind of just spoke to me because Matt was also just transferring in, and at the time he hadn't had any big accolades. But I remember when I was on my visit and then came down to train one weekend for the RTC. I remember me and him just talking about it, like, "Hey, dude, we're gonna." Matt was like, I'm gonna be a national champion. I'm gonna be this. I'm gonna be an All American. Like, I'm gonna bring this
Mm-hmm.
program to a new level." And I just remember sitting there talking to him, and I believed him. You know what I mean? Like, there's sometimes you hear things from people, and you just hear how they kind of like display it and like go about things, and you look at him and you're like, I don't I don't know if I fully believe what you're putting down. Like, Matt said it, and it almost felt like it had happened already. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think
100%.
like he was huge for why I committed here. Stony Buell. Me and him grew up wrestling together, and we actually, funny enough, we went to the same elementary school as kids.
Okay. Wow.
So I've known him my whole life, so it was cool. Like when I came on a visit, it was like I was already a part of the team, because he was like
Mm-hmm.
he's like a built-in best friend that I already had. So it was super cool that way. And yeah, Purdue, it just means everything to me, because it's just someone that gave me an opportunity before I had all those accolades, and that they truly believed in me and what I was bringing, like what my skills were and everything. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I just think it means a lot. And, I trust everybody here with my life, because they haven't BS'd me one day in my life. And they give me a kick
Yeah.
in the butt when I need a kick in the butt. And then they praise me when I deserve to be praised. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm treated,
Absolutely.
I'm treated so like equally and fairly that I really enjoy it, because that's just how I want to be treated. I don't want anyone to look at me like I'm cooler than them because I'm good at wrestling or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah. So I personally, I didn't understand that there was this relationship that you had with Matt Ramos, and that's actually something that I'm curious about because you guys were teammates for 2 years, and now he's on the coaching staff. So like, I'm guessing based on what you said that this has been a seamless transition for you because it already felt like he was a leader and this figure for you to look up to, and he's continuing to do that. Is that just kind of is that how you two operate? Is what is that like?
Yeah, it's funny because I would say like Matt and I are probably two of the most unserious people you'll ever meet. We're
Interesting.
probably laughing more than we're actually doing something productive. So it's funny because it's like when we're in the wrestling setting, we're like pretty locked in and focused. And
Hmm.
then it's been weird because like you can't like I can't like go hang out with him anymore. You know what I mean? Because he's a coach.
Yeah.
Not that like I couldn't, but it's just like that's kind of weird. Like
Yeah.
there's rules and whatever. So it was a weird transition of going from hanging out with him 6 times a week to now I see him at practice and stuff. But
Yeah.
our relationship stayed solid, man. We laugh and like came and coached me at RAF, and that was awesome because it's like it was like
Yeah.
being there with your best friend. You know what I mean? Like it's for me, it's awesome and it's funny because like some of the older guys on our team, like Ben, a couple of his roommates last year, were like, "We're not gonna call you coach until like messing with them."
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but it was funny. No, everybody on our team listened to Matt, and he's such a good just soul. Like it's weird. Like
Mhm.
he may not sometimes have the answer for you for wrestling, but like just how he will sit there and try to figure things out with you and do things for you. Like he's a break his back for you type of guy.
Mhm.
Uh so it's like just to see someone like that, man, like he's just such a good human that everybody on our team, when he became coach, it was now, hey, we already looked up to Matt on how he drilled and everything, but now we get to look up to him as like we get to ask him questions and look for help through him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what you want. And it's funny that you mentioned the like, we're not going to call you coach. Basically the exact same thing happened with Gabe Dean at Cornell. He graduated and then he was a coach for the Gray Shirts for about a semester, and then one of the Cornell coaches took another job, and so he filled right in. He's like, a bunch of guys were like, "You're still Gabe to me." But yeah, I mean, it's interesting how stuff like that can work, especially in the sport of wrestling. So it's obvious to me that you have a lot of respect and you look up to your coaches in a big way. Which of them has kind of like pushed you the hardest?
I'd say it's definitely a collective effort.
Yeah.
I would say like, Vega and Suef might be like the more like technical hands-on guys with me all
Hmm.
the time. And also someone too, I don't want to breeze past him. Shoppe, my freshman year, Coach AJ
Yeah.
Shoppe, he
Yeah.
was huge. A lot of the things that I do now have been refined with like Vega, Suef, and Ursun, but some of those concepts were originally brought to me by Shoppe and shown to me by Shoppe. So I owe him a lot just as much as I owe everybody else on our coaching staff. But yeah, I would say Ursun too. Ursun's funny. He helps me a lot with the technical, but the thing I respect him most is he won't let me be like he will never let me like be less of what I am in anything. You know what I mean? If
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
school, if it's coaching kids, if it's I'm going to go run a camp, if I'm going to go do this, he holds me to a high standard in everything. Uh but in a good way. In a way of like I wouldn't want anything else because I know that he's just looking out for me and that he's just trying to guide me in the best path that I possibly can. And I think that speaks more to it too, because I think like yeah, coaching is a lot. Like it's important, like for him to be a super good coach on the mat, but it's also super important on what are you preaching to your guys, what are you preaching to your people. Like you look at all these guys that Urslan coached, even if they maybe not had the greatest wrestling career, you go look at their business careers now and like
Yeah.
how they act, how they bring things, how they treat their peers, and how just how they work and how they've been taught to work, uh, is super super high level. And I think that's just because of Urson is just he's a good human. He's a good guy. He preaches good things and teaches good things, and that's helped me so much in my life.
Yeah, it's so because like I've got this list of questions here in front of me, just kind of helping me guide us through this conversation. But it's so interesting hearing you talk about the coaching staff and the program this way, because like one of the things I was curious about is it's it is not surprising to see people in these days, if they're at a certain level and maybe they have a disappointing performance, to see them enter the transfer portal, or if they have a good performance, to see them enter the transfer portal because they're, maybe they got a phone call from a donor for a program and they said, hey, we'll give you so much money. um, but I mean, I think the answer is kind of obvious in terms of like why you aren't interested in anything outside of what you have at Purdue, right? But I still want to ask it anyway. Like, why don't you leave?
Uh, I don't. For me, like my biggest thing is trust, man. Like if
Mm-hmm.
like they trusted me when no one trusted, like they let me start my like in the if I'm looking at a retrospect at the end of my career next year, say we do what you said earlier, I'm a national champion, whatever, and I look back and I'm a NCAA champion, 3-time All American, but never used my red shirt. I could realistically look back and be like, oh, if I redshirted, I might have been had more accolades to my name.
Yeah, yeah,
But the experience I gained wrestling my true freshman year, wrestling guys like Peyton Robb, Franek, like wrestling all those tough dudes I was 18 my whole freshman year. So I was
right.
wrestling 24, 25-year-olds. The amount of trust that they put into me to let me wrestle that year when I know there's probably maybe one or two other programs that might have let me wrestle my true freshman year. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
they let me do it and went through the aches and all the bumps with me, but it worked out for the better, obviously, because I did these two things. And another thing that also like never made me want to leave, or like never really put leaving in my head, was after I lost, Urson just like gave me a hug and just talked to me or whatever. But it was instantly like how like we still have things to do. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
we were we had been talking about things past this event that we wanted to do with our career. Like just because we didn't have one accomplishment, that doesn't mean that we like had a bad season or even had anything. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
uh, and I think just Urson coming up and talking to me about that, and just like being the guy that was there for me when I was so disappointed and beating myself up because I hadn't accomplished what I wanted to. Just like the level of how they handled me, just all the coaches, and how they embraced me. It just made me, realize even more like, hey, these guys love me, win, lose, or draw. I think that's more important than going somewhere and making a lot of money, for the coaches at the end of the day, to get you for a year. And I mean, I'm not saying no one, there's like, I'm not saying these coaches are bad humans, but like you can't. It's hard to get adjusted to a guy for a year after being in a different program for 3 years, and it's hard to handle with people like that. Like it's just hard to
Yeah.
do. So I just think like where I'm at's perfect. Where the people around me are looking out for me to get me the best opportunities all the time. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
I I would almost be a bad. I think in my view of how it is, I would be a bad person to leave because they're offering their whole world to me.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a great perspective. Yeah, and I appreciate your honesty about that. I think that's great. Uh, with Purdue and Indiana, that's an in-state rivalry, in conference rivalry. Um, I don't know if that's necessarily something super important to you, but what do you think? What kind of value? What kind of uh, interest into the sport do you think that delivers? Because it's I think it's important to make the regular season matter a little bit at least.
Yeah, no,
And I
I
think
agree.
little things like that do it.
I
So what do
I
you think?
like it, man. I honestly, so it's funny because like I'm now here and I love the university, but like when I was like a fan of wrestling as a kid, like I never really thought about Purdue or Indiana. I'm from Ohio and Michigan, so it's like
Yeah.
I'm more used to hearing those kind of things. That's what I'm used to. So I think like my
Hmm.
freshman year, I didn't fully like understand like what the rivalry was. I didn't know it was like that deep and that I didn't even know it was a big deal. And then I
Yeah.
got here and saw it, and I like it, man. I love it. Like my freshman year, I wrestled Brayton Lee,
Hmm.
at IU, and that was fun. I lost, but like that was one of those matches where it was again like I lost 5-4 or 3-2, maybe. Like
Close,
to like
yeah.
an old vet guy. So it was just
Hmm.
it was a good like heated match. So that was fun. And then last year we had a duel at Mackey, which that was sick because that was the first time I had ever wrestled in Mackey, and it was packed because of that. Because like
Right.
we did a duel this year and it was still pretty full, but it was nowhere near as full as when we dueled IU.
Hmm.
So like just seeing that, and then this year I had a good match with Lillard, and it was packed again. So it was like it's super cool to see that. Like I want to win one so bad now. You know, like
Yeah.
obviously like my freshman year losing it was like all right, whatever. Like on paper they may be like slightly have the advantage on us. And
Hmm.
then the past 2 years we've lost to them, it's almost been like these guys just outright like they came more prepared. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's. I mean, so when I first got to IU, I think at the first duel we had against Purdue, we got destroyed. I'm pretty sure. So like it has been a very fun rivalry to see go back and forth. And IU is on a stretch right now, and it obviously personally I would hope to see that continue to happen. But I do think it's important. I think it's especially for a sport like or a state like Indiana for wrestling, they've got a lot of talent in the area, and I think the more Indiana and Purdue are built up, the more value that brings to the state for the sport as a whole. But yeah, I just wanted to get like your insight and see if if it was something that you really even think about, or if it's like, yeah, it's just another match.
I think it's cool because you can be a little rowdy too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I think it's funny. Like for me, I'm like I don't know. I don't take things like crazy personal. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
really ever. Like I'm not someone
hmm
that gets offended pretty easily.
hmm
I don't get offended easily. So like after I won, like I heard one boo and I just started yelling. I was like, "Come on, boo me. Like come on." Like I
yeah,
like that. Like that's cool. Like I think
right,
having that just as the atmosphere of wrestling, it makes it cool for wrestling. Like now people can come and be like, I don't know anything about what's going on, but I know we got one side talking crap to the other side. So now it's
right,
cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like having some fan interaction is always cool. So I like it. I think it's cool. And I think almost if they could try to make every Big Ten duel in an environment like it's a rivalry, I think
hmm
Big Ten wrestling would get it already is pretty popular or decently popular, but I think it would get extremely popular if things started to just not even heat up, but like just don't take it personal. Like it's not a big deal. Like we're just trying to make things more entertaining, make
right,
the setting more hostile, or making the environment making putting more pressure, not even pressure, but just putting more eyes and more like attention to what's going on. I
yeah.
think
Because
that, but
like
yeah, I love it. I think it's cool
I, I totally agree because it's not necessarily easy. The sport of wrestling and the rules are not always super easy to understand, but you can tell if somebody brought you and they're cheering or they're booing, you know what to do, right?
yeah,
And so that is, I do think getting the fans involved, it really does matter. And Real American Freestyle is doing a great job with that, and I think we as a sport have a lot to learn from what they're doing.
for sure.
Speaking of them, it was super interesting seeing you out there, and in your corner, it's your brother Matt Ramos, and so we know what your relationship is with Matt, but there's also this relationship that you have with your brother who is at Penn State and he has his own success within the sport, and you both go to NCAAs this year and you both finish on the podium, which is like from a parent perspective, that's probably like a dream come true.
Yeah.
Like if I had two boys and I would be psyched. So like what is that experience like even though you're at Purdue, he's at Penn State, you know, how do you guys enjoy the shared experience? What is that all like?
Oh, it's awesome. I think like personally, I wish I could be more with Marcus, just like every day and all the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's my best friend, man. He's been my best friend since we were born. So I think it's awesome to just have someone that cares that much about wrestling, just around all the time because like so just like background, like my dad didn't wrestle, my mom didn't wrestle. Like Marcus and I explored wrestling with each other. Like that was like wouldn't say like our thing, but like that was like also what as a siblings, like that's what we did together. Like we've spent hours and hours with each other just because of one sport. Uh
Hmm.
so it's awesome, man. Anytime he succeeds, it's like it's not like I succeed, but like I almost am more happy to see him doing well and him doing the things he's doing than I am to see myself doing it.
Yeah.
Just because I know how much work he puts in and I know how competitive he is. I know how he works. So to see him win, it's always like super exciting because I take things hard because I'm super competitive, but he's like the next level of competitive. So it's like I know how he feels. You know what I mean? So it's like I
Yeah.
love seeing him win and just do his thing.
Yeah, I remember hearing you say in another interview that he is extremely competitive. That's super interesting because I don't think it's normally like that. I feel like normally the older brother is the one who's like very driven to be the winner.
Yeah.
Um, Interesting. So you know when at the end of the day, the sport is over. You're transitioning into MMA. What does that look like? Are you trying to like find your way directly into the UFC? Are you going to I don't even know the other ones actually. So
Yeah, like
what does that look like?
yeah, there's like one. I mean UFC for sure, because that's like so like for MMA, like one championship is the UFC, but in Asia.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like
yeah, that's right.
so it's super like if they offered me like a contract before the UFC did, like I'd probably for sure take it because the where the pay is and everything. Uh,
Sure, yeah.
but I would want to be in the UFC, just because that's Americans. That's like those are things I've talked about with like just even my
Mhm,
friends. 'Cause I have a lot of friends that are into it, and
mhm.
I've literally told them like, dude, like when I fight, bro, it's gonna be sick. Like we're gonna be able to get you tickets. Like you know what I mean? Like it's one of
Yeah,
those
yeah,
things
yeah.
where it's like I everybody I talk to about it is like, bro, I want to go watch you. So it's like I am just excited to, fight wherever it's at. And I'm just excited to, just explore it and see what's good. Because I think you can get a lot of traveling in with that kind of stuff because it correlate it's almost more popular overseas than it is here. So it's like, meet a few people. Who knows? Maybe you'll see me training, fighting in Russian leagues. Who knows?
Yeah, so here's the question. Have you been in a fight?
Not like anything crazy.
No.
Not stuff like that. I mean, I've like sparred around a little bit and stuff, but
Yeah.
I mean, I've been hit a few times, but that's about
Yeah.
it.
I mean, if you're going to get in some at least like scraps in the wrestling room. If you make it to the D1 level and you don't do that, you're doing something wrong,
Yeah.
obviously. Um, yeah, okay. That's interesting. So for you, I mean, we've seen a lot of fighters flawlessly transition into fighting. What kind of style do you think you would have? Do you think you're more of like a
Stand and
get
bang.
somebody on the ground and submit them, or are you
Stand and
using
bang.
your fists? Really?
Yeah. I want to I mean, I'll wrestle. I mean, I'll use it. Like, I mean, I think
Yeah.
it's dumb if you don't. Uh,
Right.
But I think I actually find striking super fascinating. I find angles super fascinating. I find that like I know Demetrius Johnson like calls it the void, like the gap in between people. Uh,
Okay.
I find all of that stuff super interesting.
Right.
And it's new, so I say that I want to put people out, but at the end of the day, if my way to victory is taking the guy down and submitting him, I'll do
Hmm.
that too. But no, I'd like to stand up and fight. I think I actually find that pretty cool. So I would like to do that.
So you'd be like the is it is it Max Holloway who like points to the center of the ring and says, Last 15
Yeah,
seconds,
I
we're
don't know
taking
if
them
I'd be
out."
that crazy, but I'd try.
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
I would
yeah.
like my thing is I would strike first round, second round. Then once it gets deeper rounds, I mean, if you can take the guy down and put him out, put him
Mhm.
away, you do that. But
Right.
I would like to start striking. I wouldn't like to shoot first.
Yeah, that's fair, right? You want to, especially early on, you want to be able to build out that base, and so you need to put yourself out there earlier rather than later. I
Mhm.
think that makes total sense. Um, okay, but so you're more than just a wrestler. You're more than just a fighter, right? You're also a student. You're a sales management major, if I'm
Yeah.
correct. Yes, and you run your own clothing line, Blaze Apparel.
Mhm.
So it's not very common for college athletes to try and start a business while they already have the obligations of school and a sport. So, like, is this something you're just doing for experience? Do you actually want to continue to develop your brand over the years? Do you have interest in clothing or design and fashion specifically?
Yeah, no, I originally started that because I wouldn't say like I'm the most artsy person in the world, but like when I get bored and I have free time, like I just draw. I'll like sketch stuff and just kind of just draw out things and look. And one day I like drew like Blaze like super cool.
Hmm.
Or not super cool, but like in the way I thought was cool, like with flames and all that stuff. So I was
Sure.
like, yeah, I wonder if I could like put that on a shirt because like that not in my opinion, like I don't even need to make money off of it, but it's cheaper. Like for someone to buy a Blaze Apparel shirt that's $25, it's cheaper than to buy from, not even to say I'm cutting anybody out, but some of those NIL things are 50, 60
Sure.
bucks to buy a shirt. And
Yeah.
then like I make the same difference. You know what I mean? Like I make $4 on the shirt you buy here. I make $4 on the shirt you buy for 60. I make the $4 off the $25 shirt. I make $4 off the $60 shirt. Like,
Hmm.
why not let it at least be me? So like that people that know me can be like, oh, that's something Joey would do. Like that's him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh
Yeah.
so I like that. And then I actually got hurt my sophomore year. I tore my hamstring and my LCL at Cliff Keen.
Okay.
So I was just like bumming around for like a month with my
Hmm.
just with the team at everything. And I would just be locked in on my computer, like getting designs, like doing the Shopify, like figuring out how to do all that.
Yeah.
Uh, so I think it was honestly just a random like thought and hobby that I was like, I have free time. I'm gonna do this. And then
Hmm.
now it's just kind of come to like if I have time, I'll mess with it and play with it. But yeah, no, it was cool. It's cool because I also do now have experience, so I can like when someone talks about it, I can actually be knowledgeable in the field.
Right.
It's good for selling and sales. I thought it was pretty. It's interesting because I take a lot of entrepreneurship classes too. Like I'm trying to get that certificate.
Yeah.
Uh, so it's just cool to figure out, marketing, like how big marketing is with it. Like I like to play around. Like I haven't posted a lot on social media about my shirts and stuff, but like I think it's funny to see like I'll post and then pay $5 to boost the post, and I'll get 3 people to buy a shirt compared to
Right.
I don't put any money down and one person buys a shirt. So I think it's just cool to see that and like the business metric side of it. But yeah, other than that, it was just a random hobby that I got into, and uh, yeah, I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna keep doing it until it's easy, it's fun, and I do like clothing too. I mean, you can see my closet's full,
Yeah.
stacked.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I do like clothes. So yeah, it was just all over around like something that I was like, I'm interested in it, and I think it's for in my mind adjustable cause, so I'm gonna just ride with it.
Yeah. You got any new designs coming out soon?
Mm, I want to do one this summer. I haven't really thought about anything yet, but because I did one for Halloween, I mixed like I watch anime, I watch Hunter x Hunter, and it's like this guy that has face paint, and then I put that over like a hockey mask, like Jason mask,
Hmm.
and then I did like a mummy one that was like kind of similar, uh, and I think I might do one for the 4th of July. I just gotta like get uh like doing it like sooner than later. You know what I mean? Like I always am
Hmm.
like I'm trying to do it to where I do like holiday drops almost. So
Sure.
like for Thanksgiving, I do a custom shirt. For Christmas, I do a custom shirt. For Halloween, and it just like that was my idea for what I was gonna do. So hopefully for 4th of July, I can get one done and do it because I had one semi worked up for Easter, and then Easter passed. So I was like, all right, I'll just save this, and if
Hmm.
I ever come back to it, I can do
Yeah.
something with it.
What's your guilty pleasure when it comes to anime?
Uh, Dude, I watched a lot. I've been watching Frieren a lot.
Okay.
I like Naruto. Naruto's like a OG. Like I love that.
Yep.
Black Clover's sick. One Piece. I love One Piece. There's just there's just one that I just watched. It was like Witch Hat something. It's just coming out. It's like new. There's only like
Hmm.
5, 6 episodes. It's
Yeah.
really good. And then there's Shadow of the Daemon Realm or something like that. It's new too. It's a
Okay.
newer anime. I don't know. I started watching it. I sometimes just click random animes and we'll just be like,
Sure.
what's
Yeah.
up with this?
Yeah. I dabble a little bit, so that's
Heck
always
yeah.
interesting to hear. I mean, it's kind of a I think a lot of wrestlers do, honestly.
Mhm.
So,
It got,
um,
like, popularized with, like, I feel like kinda like Spencer Lee like, I think maybe more people watched it than put out, but, like, I think once, like, Spencer Lee and some of the older like, the guys that were good or, like, the
uh
guys that were in the light of wrestling, I think when they started talking about stuff like that, it like, more people weren't afraid to be like, "Yeah, I watched that," because I feel like sometimes you have that weird stigma of people that are like, "You're whatever for watching it," but it's
yeah,
like, who cares, man? Like, you
right,
watch reality TV. It's the same.
right,
It's similar. It's not
yeah.
it's not a big
I
deal. It's what I watch.
I I totally agree, and I do think that like some of the guys that were higher up in the sport, they were like, "Yeah, I watch anime," and then everybody else was like, "Oh, me too, yeah, definitely."
Yeah, it
So
makes it
that's
you feel
fun,
included then, you know? You don't
right?
feel as bad. Like, I actually got introduced to anime from Blake Sato. He wrestled at Brown for
Yeah, yeah,
4
yeah.
years.
Hmm.
He, me and him were high school teammates for 2 years, and
Okay.
his dad's from Japan, so he's like always watched anime.
Mm,
And
yeah,
one day he showed me Naruto, and I swear I watched Naruto, the 1,000 episodes of Naruto and Shippuden in
yeah,
a month and a half. Like
yeah.
I like got hooked to it instantly because I was like,
Right.
dude, this is sick. Like, bro's just trying to fight and become like
Yeah,
trying to
right.
become the Hokage, man. Like he's just trying to do stuff,
Yeah.
which I think is cool because I also just like the animation. Like I like that it's fighting. That if that
Hmm.
surprises you, I like that there's fighting in it. I think it's
Yeah,
cool.
that's. I mean, that is it's one of the appeals for sure. So I actually this made me think of something because I think you might have a little bit of a read on this. I'm trying to figure out who started the trend of pulling your singlet legs down to the knees because
Mm.
I like one of the first guys who I saw do it that was like earlier on was your brother, but I don't know if he got it from somebody or if you both got it. I don't. Is it is it you?
I
Is it your fault?
My singlet's always pulled down. I can't. Like when we were kids, I
Uh,
used to think a singlet was so uncomfortable. Like my first 3 or 4 years of wrestling.
that's fair. Yeah,
Like I used to wear a wife beater. I look goofy, but I used to wear a wife beater under my singlet because I didn't like how the singlet straps like rubbed me.
interesting.
So I would say like I gave Marcus the idea, or we both did it collaboratively. Like just that's
Uh
how we
huh.
were.
Yeah.
We both just never were big into pulling singlets up. And when people did that, like I think we like literally were like looking at each other and we're like, we're gonna pull these all the way down. But like Jack's Force, I think Jack's Force probably made it the biggest because he's big on like really pulling them things down. Like I would say like
Yeah.
I just like it at my quad. Like I just like it lower
Yeah.
than higher.
Right.
I would say Jack's Force probably like made that thing big because he did the whole like pull it over his knee thing and
Yeah. I mean, like growing up, I'd never really like. Definitely when I was younger, I was bothered by a singlet. But by the time I got into like late middle school and high school, I was like, whatever, and like it'll ride up. That's I didn't care about that. But it's just been so interesting to see like the trend, like people pull their straps down and or their single legs down, and they also like leggings are coming back.
yeah.
That was not a thing for a long time. It was like early 2000s it was a thing, and now it's coming back, and it's just so interesting to see fashion trends, I guess, in the sport. So
Yeah, I wore quarter tights a lot this year.
yeah,
Uh,
and I
Mainly because
noticed
I
I
had
was
a
like,
lot of like
what's happening?
I usually had like a lot of leg tape on, and that's the easiest way
Mm,
to keep leg tape from like
yeah,
not falling off.
that's
But no,
fair.
honestly am just a huge fan of the quarter tights. Just for my overall knees because I hate getting mat burn.
Hmm. Yeah.
And like if I don't want to wear knee pads, I'll wear tights just so I at least have that like friction, so I'm not ripping my knees up.
Hmm.
But I mean, I wore them against Nolf, and he took me out of bounds right away, and like the carpet literally burnt through the like
Yeah.
I had like this big a mat burn on my knee from
Yeah.
that. Like it didn't even help. So
Right.
maybe it's not a help.
Maybe. Okay. I want to hit you with some lightning round questions here. Uh, Go to warm up music.
Ooh, rap.
Okay. Favorite post weigh in food.
Hmm. Or just some water, low key.
Just some water. Like, but what about like what do you need some carbs or you need something
Oh,
super simple? What?
honey stingers. You know, like but like
Yeah.
the chew ones. Like I'll eat
Okay.
those before I wrestle. Like that'll be
Okay.
like my pre-match snack.
Yeah. 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 Okay, that makes sense. Best restaurant in West Lafayette.
Bro, DT Kirby's has a crazy burger. I got it the other day, and I honestly got it because it was $25. I looked at it and I was like, $25. Like, what could this possibly be?
Yeah.
It was the greatest burger I've ever had. So I'll say DT Kirby's.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. One match that you wish you could get another shot at.
Hmm. Whew. Maybe I would. My freshman year, I lost to someone at districts. I wish I just would have wrestled that match again. I don't know. That's the one
High
that.
school?
Yeah, I don't. I
Interesting.
don't. Honestly, like it's funny because I am pretty competitive, but like once the match is over, man, it happened. You know, I don't really ever think about if I could do differently. Uh,
Hmm.
but yeah, maybe that or like win like the Biddy state tournament when I was a kid. That would have been sick. I know I didn't win.
Okay.
I went like 0-2 a couple times, so I wish I would have
Yeah.
won those.
Interesting. All right. One thing you could change about the sport of wrestling. It could be literally anything.
I wish people just showed their personality a little bit more in the way of like just like who they like, not putting on an act or anything, and just having fun. And like
Mm,
wrestling's deep, and it's like I think like if I'm wrestling you today, like I don't want to be your friend, but like just kind of popularizing like afterwards being friends. It's not that deep.
yeah. Yeah.
It's deep, but it's not that deep.
I think I totally understand what you're saying, and I think we're kind of finding our way out of it there. And I don't want to say that this is Iowa's fault, but like early 2000s was such like an Iowa style, like we're tough, we're mean, we don't show our emotions, and like if we lose, we're pissed off about it. But like you see in other sports, like you see in basketball and football, teammate or opponents doing jersey swaps afterwards and stuff like that. So I think we could find ourselves in a different, I guess, culture within the sport, and I think that
Yeah,
that would be good.
yeah, I get it like a little bit because like at a tournament, if I like NCAAs for example, like
Mm,
I would if someone talked to me, I might have stared him in the eyes and just kept walking. Not even to be like I just didn't feel like that. I just couldn't. I wasn't in the mood
yeah.
to like conversate and do that stuff.
Hmm.
Uh, but no, I agree. I think just like overall, like training, collaborating, like I think that like collaboration's not bad. You're not gonna if I wrestle with someone once and I might have to wrestle them in the year, like it's not a big deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're both
Hmm.
just trying to get better and get to the same point. So I think that would be cool for me. Just a little bit more collaboration.
Yeah. Interesting. Cool. Well, that's all I got. This has been about an hour. This has been great. I don't know if you have anything else, anything you want to shout out, if you're trying to run some camps this summer or any of that. But
Oh yeah. I just say thank you for having me on. And my email is my like camp email is blazejoey0@gmail.com if anybody is interested. And then, maybe check out Blaze Apparel if you guys got some time.
mhm.
Yeah. Other than that though, just thank you, man. I had a blast, dude. This was fun.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I appreciate you coming on. Like I said, you're the first guest that I don't like personally know, so this has been great. And it's been great getting to know you, man. So
Of course, thank you.
yeah, thank you everybody for listening. Hope you had a good time listening, good time watching, and I'll see you on the next one.